All right, so get this. Imagine a website. But not just any website, right? This one's like a sonic punch to the face, exploding with photos and stories that just drip with that live music energy.
Oh, I live for that. What's the site?
It's called jubelschuppen.de, and it's basically our backstage pass to the Münster, Germany music scene.
Munster, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm intrigued. But what makes this different from, like, a million other music blogs out there?
So two things. First, it's run by this guy, Dominic, and he's not just snapping pics, he's living it. Like, you can practically smell the sweat and beer in his writing, you know?
I could dig it. So what's the second thing?
Well, get this. Dominic describes Münster as having the rhythm of a sleepy cat that barely opens one eye during the week.
Whoa, hold up. Sleepy cat. Doesn't sound very hardcore, does it?
Right. You'd expect something a little more intense given the photos we're seeing, but maybe that's the beauty of it. Yeah, like this hidden energy just waiting to explode.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about these photos, though.
Oh man, there's something else. And the concert titles alone are like mini stories. Beer, Bluten Oi, Rain-Soaked Riot, Punk-Fueled Inferno.
All right, you definitely had me at Punk-Fueled Inferno.
Yeah. So picture this. The article we found about Dominic, it says his writing is flowery, which at first I thought flowery, but then I read his description of a band called Eaten by Snakes, and he says, music like a car crash in slow motion.
Damn. That's vivid.
Right. And then there's this one about a venue called Heileveld. He writes, the walls seem to bend under the weight of the past, like you can feel the history, you know?
Chills, man. Literal chills.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about the stories those walls could tell. Okay, so this Dominic guy, he's a poet with a camera. Give me one more. What else you got?
All right, this one's about a show called Monasteria Moshmania. He's leaving the venue, and he writes, as I left the hall, I was sure we had just witnessed the end of civilization.
Ah, that's amazing. The end of civilization. One mosh pit at a time, I guess. I've got to ask, what's the crowd like at these things? Any stuffy academics rubbing shoulders with the punks?
Funny you should mention it. Dominic actually describes a typical Minster audience as a mix of anarchos, old punks, and the occasional confused academic.
I love it. Speaks to the scene's character, right? You never know who you'll be rubbing shoulders with in the pit. All right, so we've got sweaty photos, epic writing, anything else this website has to offer?
You know, it's funny you should ask because it's not all music. There's actually a whole section called sport photos.
Sport photos? I didn't see that coming. What kind of sports are we talking? Mosh pit Olympics.
Huh. Not quite. But get this.
Mm-hmm.
Full-on medieval combat. Like knights in armor, real weapons, the whole 9 yards.
Get out. That's intense. I mean, it's a different kind of energy than a mosh pit, but still, talk about raw passion.
Right. So I'm wondering, is it just me or is there a connection there? The raw physical energy of a mosh pit and then this almost ancient form of combat.
It's like they both tap into something primal, wouldn't you say? A release, a way to push boundaries.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe Dominic just has a knack for finding the extraordinary in the, the everyday. Speaking of extraordinary, there was something else we found on the site. Something kind of bittersweet, actually. It was a tribute to this guy, Holger Bear.
Holger Bear, who's that?
So apparently he was a longtime sound engineer at a place called Glass 22, which is supposed to be this legendary music venue in Münster. Like, they've had bands like the UK Subs, the Bollock Brothers, the real deal.
Oh, wow, yeah. So what happened?
It sounds like Holger recently retired. And Dominic's tribute to him, it's really something. You can tell how much this guy meant to him, to the whole scene.
Man, think about it. All those years, all those shows, Holger was the one behind the scenes, shaping the sound of a generation, basically. Makes you realize how important those behind-the-scenes people are,
Totally. It's like Dominic says in the tribute, Holger wasn't just a sound engineer, he was a master of sonic landscapes.
It makes you wonder how many other Holgers are out there, right? The unsung heroes keeping those amps buzzing and the music alive.
Seriously. But it's not just about the tech guys either. Like, think about Dominic. He's capturing this whole scene, this whole era, just by following his passion. And it's not just Münster either, get this. The article mentions how he's traveled all over Australia, Indonesia, New Zealand, photographing bands everywhere.
No way. So he's like a sonic explorer, huh? Searching for that raw energy across continents.
Right. Makes you wonder if he finds those same threads, that same energy, even in totally different cultures.
That's a good question. Is there, like, a universal language of passion? Of just, like, letting loose in a mosh pit no matter where you are in the world. Man, now I want to see all his photos.
Me too. But maybe it's not even about finding the answer. Maybe it's about the journey itself, like following Dominic's lead and just seeing where the music takes us.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And hey, maybe we don't all need to hop on a plane to find that energy. Maybe there's a hidden gem right in our own backyards. We just got to open our ears and, really listen.
Now you're talking. And it's crazy how much this one website, this one guy's passion project, has gotten us thinking, right? We've gone from mosh pits to the meaning of life, practically.
No kidding. We've touched on history, community, the power of music to transport you, all because of Dominic and his, crazy detailed descriptions of it all.
Oh, man, don't even get me started on those descriptions. He could make a trip to the grocery store sound epic.
Totally. Remember that line about the walls of the highly built venue, bending under the weight of the past? Come on, that's poetry right there.
And it's not just the venues. Every concert listing reads like a short story. I actually marked a few more I wanted to share. You ready for this?
Hit me.
Okay, so this is from a Red Bricks show. Dominic writes, "It's Saturday evening in Minster, and the city exhales this subtle mix of post-rain freshness and the endless promise of a party."
Whoa, okay, I need a minute. That was evocative. Suddenly I'm craving a beer in a mosh pit.
See? He just transports you there.
Huh.
And this is just the intro to the concert review. Okay, ready for the next one?
Lay it on me.
This one's about a Generation Exit gig. He sets the scene. "It was a goddamn Tuesday night in Minster. The kind of night where the rain doesn't just fall, it hammers down like the wrath of an old forgotten deity."
Damn.
Yeah.
That's heavy. But, it makes sense. The music is that powerful, it needs a soundtrack of biblical rain to even come close.
Right. It's like epic on an epic scale.
It's that feeling you get at a show, the rest of the world just melts away.
Yeah.
For those few hours, it's just you and the music and the raw energy in the room.
You get it. Okay, last one, and it's a doozy. Describing a Maxette show. "Rain! All goddamn day, rain! The sky, as if it had decided to drown us all. The motivation to swing myself onto the rickety bike and pedal across Minster."
Oh man, the suspense. I need to know, did he make it to the show? Was it worth braving the apocalypse for?
Yeah.
This guy knows how to tell a story.
Right, he had me hooked from all goddamn day rain. But you know what else I love about his writing? He's not trying to be all fancy or pretentious. It's just honest, heartfelt passion.
Exactly. He's not writing for critics. He's writing for people who get it. People who know what it feels like to stand shoulder to shoulder in a sweaty club, feeling the music vibrate through their bones.
And isn't that what a good deep dive should do? Make you feel something, make you think, maybe even make you want to go out and discover something for yourself.
100%. Dominic's reminded us that those moments, those connections, they're out there. We just got to be open to finding them.
It just hit me. We've been talking about this guy, Dominic, as this awesome photographer, a writer, but he's also kind of an accidental historian,
Whoa, yeah. In 30 years, someone could find jubelschuppen.de and be like, whoa, this is what it was like to really be there.
Totally. It's not just dates and names in a book. It's the feeling, the energy, you're right there in the middle of it.
Exactly. It's raw. It's real. I don't know. It's Todd historical, but with a side of guitar fuzz and spilled beer.
And you can tell how much it all means to him, especially when he's writing about Minster. There's this extra layer of heart in it. You know what I mean?
For sure. This is his home turf, right? Those streets, those venues, they're practically characters in his stories. Remember when he was talking about Holger, that sound engineer? It was more than just a working relationship. It was this shared language they had.
Totally. It's like Dominic's creating this living, breathing archive of a scene, like a love letter to the music, the people, all the stuff that made him who he is,
And the coolest part, he's inviting us all to the party. Hey, this is my world. Come check it out. It's pretty awesome, actually.
Seriously. Makes you think about the impact one person's passion can have, right? He started this website to share something he loved, and now who knows how many people have seen the world differently because of it.
It's true. Even the smallest thing can ripple outwards,
Yeah.
You took a piece of Münster, this one little corner of the music world, and now it's out there in the ether, connecting with people across time and space, probably inspiring a whole new generation of whatever they're into.
Yeah.
Photographers, writers, musicians, who knows?
That's what I'm talking about. And honestly, that's what I love about doing these deep dives with you. This time, we went from mosh pits to, well, I don't even know what we landed on, but it was a hell of a ride.
No kidding.
Oh.
All thanks to some dude with a camera and a way with words.
Right. That's the power of a good story, I guess. It can transport you, challenge you, even change the way you see the world.
Truth. So to everyone listening, here's a little something to think about.
Yeah.
What hidden gems are you going to unearth today? What stories are you going to tell? Go on, dive in. We'll be right here ready for the next adventure when you get back.